Good morning. I am with my friend Jarrod Lee. Good morning, Jarrod.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing great. Jarrod and I went to the same undergrad school together, and now he is doing, great things. And I won't take away from, just oversimplifying things. So tell me a little bit about how you got started on your artistic path and where you are now.
I started classically. I started learning classical music as a junior in college. I knew that I wanted to be in music. It was not my first love. My first love was writing. Um, but music is the thing that paid the tuition. So I got into music and I started out at a community college. I did that for 2 years, and then I transferred credits over into a four-year institution and decided to go fully classical. So originally it was gospel music, and then it switched over to classical, and I've been with it ever since. So presently I'm flexing my writing side um, as a learning librettist, but also really enjoying this process of learning more about being an opera singer and what it means to be an opera singer in today's world.
So where do you live right now, and what kind of organizations are you involved with?
Right now I live in Baltimore, Maryland, and I perform with Washington National Opera Chorus, and every now and then I am humbled to be cast in small roles that they have with their company. Then I also do outreach with them presently now with a production called In the Smoke of the Sting, which is a W&O commission. I also do outreach with Lyric Opera of Baltimore. We go into the inner city schools of Baltimore City, and we bring opera to the youngins. And then what else? I'm also part-time with the City of Baltimore in their Office of Promotion and the Arts as a facility staffer.
That's wonderful. So talk to me a little bit about the outreach process and how you have enjoyed that process, or what have you gotten out of that experience of going into the inner city schools and sharing your art.
One thing with outreach is when I first moved to Baltimore immediately after grad school, I graduated from the University of Maryland after attending and earning my master's through the Maryland Opera Studio. And one thing I really got from the experience was that through outreach is that opera can really reach us all. And if it doesn't make sense to you as an individual, it won't make sense to whoever you're performing to in front of. So you really have to understand it and to be able to communicate it so that it can be well received by the audience, or at least the audience can have something that they can grow from. If you're just performing it, that's one thing. And it needs to be more than just performed. You have to be able to communicate it and understand it. And having them there gives you some objectives. It gives you a focus on how to land certain things in your music.
Perfect. So can you think of a defining moment? You told me that you started in gospel music, and actually the first love being writing. So can you think of a defining moment that made you choose opera?
Oh, okay. I remember I was in a junior in Jacksonville State University, and my first voice teacher, Dr. Richard Armstrong, he said, I brought him this book because at the time I was still tutoring. I went back and tutored for a federally funded program called Upward Bound. And we did a trip to New York. And I had this book of, I think, 21st century or 20th century opera singers. And in this book was a lovely lady with this huge wig on, but cheekbones like bam. And it was Leontine Price. And I remember taking that book to Dr. Armstrong. And I said, have you ever worked with any of these people and stuff? And he had great stories about some of these people in the book. And so it just really like, wow. And after that, or shortly after that, I remember participating in my first vocal competition, classical music, in classical music. And it was with the National Association of Teachers of Singing. And I came in third place, and it was my first time, and that was a nice affirmation for me. And my teacher, Dr. Richard Armstrong, said, you have potential to do this if you want to do it. You're not going to be rich. And if you're trying to be rich in it, maybe you need to try something else. But if you want to perform and you look like you really enjoy this, there's potential in you to do this. And you can really do it and have fun with it. So those two things really stuck out to me when you asked that question.
That's great. So a couple of things come in mind when you mentioned Leontine Price.
Mm-hmm.
How has your experience in opera as an African American enriched that experience, or what do you hope to accomplish as an African American baritone or bass baritone?
Good question. When I first started learning music classically and learning how to what the voice lessons were all about, what art songs were all about, one of the things that helped me was to be able to visually see someone similar to me, whether it was gender or whether it was color. And so for me, it was Leontine Price, because she wasn't on the cover of that book that I purchased. I just thought it was a nice book. YouTube, looking up videos and different things on the internet, seeing people who look similar to me helped me and showed me that it is possible. It's not a question of, do African Americans exist in classical music? It is a question of, why aren't we seeing more of these beautiful people on the stage in opera and other branches of classical music? And for me, as a Black man in opera, I love it, because I feel like I can show a different side to it. And I'm always striving to see other ways that I can show that, other ways that I can continue being myself as I'm learning myself on the stage. So to not be afraid to be authentically me and live by those definitions that I have for me as a person and as a Black man in opera.
That's wonderful. So talk to me. Yes.
Okay.
So talk to me a little bit about this breaking boundaries in opera. Not only I think that a lot of people have an idea of opera as something, an art form that's really elite and selective, and maybe kind of out there in a corner where that people can't relate to. But you and I, as performers, we know that's so far from the truth, because of all the different emotions and characters that we're able to portray through a performance. So how do you feel personally that that these boundaries or these notions that people have of opera are broken in today's society? With Hispanic singers, with African Americans, with people from the Middle East, kind of coming together to share that art form. How do you feel that these boundaries are being broken now?
Well, how do I feel these boundaries are being broken? I do believe that there are certain rivers that we still have to cross as performers of color, especially in an art form that is primarily European, especially when you're dealing with marketing and advertising. Whenever you see something relating to the art form, it is not so much reflective of me. So when I look at an opera ad, I may not see someone who looks like me. So there are some boundaries that still need to be crossed. And like I was telling a colleague last night, it is someone else's problem. Meaning in regards to the reason why you won't put someone who looks like me on your advertising or marketing in a role that is not distinctively connected to someone who looks like me. That reason is your problem. I'm still going to make sure to be professional, to sing, to be on my game, to be socially aware of what's going on in my world today, and to use all of these things as influences and tools when I bring them to the stage. And how we can fight these things are there are many ways that we can go against these things. We can get into administrative positions. We can become librettists. We can become composers to really tell our stories. We can facilitate some type of a relationship with people who want to donate financially or of their time to make sure that the art form survives, but also that the art form has a variety of faces when we put it out there to the public. So there are many ways that we can we can break more boundaries. I think a lot of boundaries have been broken, but we're still dealing with issues of people, the gatekeepers, being very selective in how they present certain things. And if they don't want to present certain things, okay, that's fine. You do what you need to do. I think it's important that if you see a lack, that you try to become that change that you want to see. So for me, if given the opportunity to go into something for administration, that would be fantastic. I would have to learn more about it. But if me sitting at a desk could help more people of color be seen in opera, so that people can have a better idea of what opera truly is, a variety of stories, a variety of colors, a variety of people and personalities, then I'll sit at a desk and work that out and help out as much as I can. And that's maybe one way that we can help break these boundaries. Maybe that's one way that I can help break some boundaries. I'm always trying to find ways to help out younger people who are in colleges, especially those of color, to make sure that they understand the world that they're about to get into. I love sharing information as I'm learning so that they will be able to take it with a grain of salt and decide what they want to do based upon what they want and how they're going to get what they want.
So this makes me think of what, in your time in the field, I'm sure that your definition of success has evolved, as it does for many of us. So you as an artist now, I hear you talking about, these causes, that you have in your heart, to issues that you want to address, through your art and by sharing this information. So to you as an artist, what is your current definition of success?
Currently, my definition of success is to be artistically fulfilled, financially stable, to participate, attend, or be exposed to these artistic things that helped me in fulfillment. And I know that's vague. I really don't like to go specific in regards to success, because in the past it was very specific. I knew, oh, it had to be this, oh, it had to be that. And if it's not that, I'm not going to be happy. And so when that didn't happen, I wasn't happy. And you cannot put all of your happiness on one thing. You have to open yourself up to the different possibilities of where your artistry can take you, and be willing to flow in that. And that will take you to a place where you probably didn't think you would be happy, and you truly are happy in that place. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's why it's important to figure out what you want as a person, so that you are not depending on one thing to make you happy. So there are three basic things, for me at least, that I find happiness in, which I guess I equate to success. And those three different things I can obtain in a lot of different things. And so I'm not limited to just opera, in my opinion. I love opera, and I'm having the time of my life. It's so much fun, and it's caused me to be introduced to a lot of people that I would have never met, probably. But I cannot put all of my happiness in that. It just won't last. So I equate success to happiness. And I'm happy with my career presently as it is, and aspiring to do more, to see what's out there as an artist, whether it's opera, musical theater, straight acting, commercials, voiceovers, teaching. I'm enjoying teaching now. I've just started recently teaching with the National Children's Chorus, so I'm really enjoying that here in DC. And writing, I'm getting back to writing, so I'm hoping to team up with some composers and get into some programs that will assist me in teaching me the formatting and help focus my energies. Because I want to help the art form, and I want to see more people of color on opera stages and operas and works that don't pertain specifically to people of color. And so that's where I'm at right now. That's happiness for me. That's success for me.
That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. And okay, so then with this definition of success, you know, it's taken some years to kind of hash out things for you to define it in that way. And just like all of us, you know, we encounter some blocks on the road, and stumble upon some things. And how do you keep yourself motivated? You know, when you encounter a roadblock, whether it be a mental one, emotional, spiritual, how do you keep, you know, moving forward and kind of this with this mentality of like failing forward, you know? So even though we may encounter a situation that is difficult, how do you fail forward in your art?
Ooh, I like the way you said that. Say that last part again. How do you
fail forward, failing forward in your art?
I like that. So there are certain things that I do for myself to make sure that I am well and open and available, whether it's for rehearsals or whether it's for talking to friends who are going through different things in the business, or whether it is making connections, networking in the business. So there are a few things that I do. There's always exercising, there's meditation, there's eating properly, or things that would help me maintain a sense of health that work well with me. And as a byproduct, you tend to look good on stage, which is becoming the norm, is that they want you to look like whatever they want you to look like. And then also to make sure that in any moment I'm feeling all of the feelings, whether it's good feelings or bad feelings, and understanding that it's okay for me to feel how I feel at that moment. And when it's time to work, it's time to work. So if I'm dealing with personal issues of family or love life or health issues, you have to set aside some time to take care of certain things so that you can be free to take that time and rehearse, to take that time to practice, to take that time to focus in music. Allow yourself to do artist dates, meaning with yourself, by yourself. Sometimes you don't need to go to a performance. Sometimes you just need to walk around a museum. Sometimes you need to go see a movie to just veg out. Sometimes you need to watch a cartoon on a Saturday morning, you know. You do what you need to do. Sometimes you need to read a book, but all of these things will help you as a person, which will help you on stage. It offers you more to bring to the stage. Excuse me, because that's what we want to see on stage. We want to see you. We don't want to see you hiding. And if you're hiding because of self-esteem issues or insecurities, you're showing that you haven't spent the time working on those things, and you're looking for the art form to help you grow in certain areas of that of your life. And the art form is, in my opinion, can show you certain parts of your life where you need to grow in and get some help, but it can't bring you full happiness, and it can't be everything that you need it to be at that moment. No one thing can give you everything on earth. So why? Yeah, I mean, I would hear people say this all the time, like opera isn't everything, you know, and if you choose to not do this, feel free to do something else, and that's okay. Nothing's wrong with that. And I think once you're able to do that and feel that, then you can move on and feel free in your choices. You don't feel confined. You don't feel held captive by this idea that someone else has put on to you, thinking that you have to be the opera singer singing at XYZ houses. And if you don't sing at XYZ houses as an opera singer, you are unsuccessful and you are labeled as lower. Well, the only person who thinks that first is you, which is a tell sign that you need to work on self, do the work. And then the other part of it is, what is the success definition for you? And it cannot rely on that one thing. So there are many things that I do. I may have something right here that I read. I love this book. I don't know if you can see it. I'll just read it. The Artist's Way, Every Day, A Year of Creative Living by Julia Cameron. It's a beautiful, beautiful book. It works well, and it's helpful. Having a strong well, for me, having a strong relationship with God has helped me out tremendously. Based upon my own definition of a strong relationship with God, and not depending on outward things to satisfy me. So it's, yeah, those are certain things that I do as an artist, as a person first, so that makes me ready and freed up to do things on and off the stage pertaining to the career.
That's beautiful. So tell me, with your experience, your performance experience, you've encountered a lot of different wonderful people, mentors and colleagues, and you know, people that have shared some wisdom with you. Can you think of anything that sticks out to you that somebody has said, you know, as you go through your artistic journey?
One thing that sticks out more and more as I get older, as a person, as a human being, and shows up in my artistry, is something I got from two people. One is Dr. Richard Armstrong, my first voice teacher. He said that you give without looking for anything in return. And that you are respectful of the audience, and you're offering something of yourself. Getting my little, have to plug up my laptop or it's going to die. And then the other thing was from a mentor of mine, Leon Major, fantastic director, and he created the program of the Maryland Opera Studio. He said, you take care of yourself. And whatever that means to you, that means you do it. And that's your responsibility. That's what you do. And that makes you a really good colleague, is to be able to take care of yourself. Give me 1 second.
So, can you think of a performance, you know, that it just really sticks out to you and in your mind, and why? Why does it stick out to you?
And it doesn't have to be me, right? It can be someone else.
Talk to me about one of your performances.
Okay. One performance that sticks out to me. Oh, okay. I was in Aspen last year. There are 2 performances. One performance is Aspen last year. I was in the performance of La Boheme, and I was Alcindoro, and I'm forgetting his name already. But I was Alcindoro, and I remember sitting in the back as the chorus was singing. My beautiful colleagues in Aspen, they were singing, and I was thinking to myself, this is so much fun. And I felt content. I hadn't felt that way in a while. And so it was good to get back to that feeling. And I felt content. I felt happy. And I felt like I was bringing joy to the people. And because I felt joy in doing it. And I felt technically sound. And I felt present. And it was good. That felt very good. That was one performance. And then another one that really sticks out to me was I premiered the role of Joe Louis in Shadow Boxer in grad school. And Shadow Boxer is an opera based on the life of Joe Louis. And I played old Joe Louis. And I sang the majority of the role from a wheelchair. And I was on stage for the majority of the time. Through that experience, I learned a lot that taking care of yourself is very important in any production, whether you have a one-liner or you're the title role or the chorus or a soup or whatever it may be in the show. Taking care of yourself is very important. And that role showed me that I can do serious stuff, I can do dramatic stuff, and it showed me that I'm capable. And if I could do newer music like that, I mean, anything else, bring it. I mean, you ready?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Jarrod, what is coming up for you? Tell us a little bit if somebody wanted to find out more information about you. Where can they go and find that information? How can they connect with you?
Well, right now, I have a website, jarrodleeopera.com, which needs an update. But yes, jarrodleeopera.com. And then there's also Facebook. If they wanted to connect with me, ask questions. I love it when people ask questions because I love asking questions. But connect with me on Facebook. I have an artist page, and also have a regular friends page on Facebook profile. And I'm on Instagram, and I'm on Twitter as well. So yeah, if people, and my Gmail, if you want to send a message to me on Gmail, I mean, I'm game for that too, because I love information. I love sharing information. And I think when you, like Maya said, and I'm paraphrasing, Maya Angelou said, when you learn something, you share it, or when you've been giving something, you share it. So in that spirit, because I know I just messed up that phrase, but in that spirit of receiving something, I want to share it and not look for anything in return, knowing that whatever I'm offering, whatever I'm sharing is something that comes from a wealth of experience, that comes from a wealth of things that will always be there with me. So I'm not going to hold on to it, you know. If it helps someone else, I want to share it. That's why I'm here talking to you right now.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate your time, and I appreciate you sharing your wisdom. And I tell you this all the time, you know, in our conversations, but I'm so proud of you. You have been such a light to the people here in Jacksonville, and, you know, looking up to everything that you've done and kind of taking that leap into that next step. So thank you for sharing your time with me and your wisdom.
Thank you for having me, and continued peace, love, and blessings to you.
Mwah. I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.